Rapper
Best
2012.
Rapper 2012
Swag. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So those are the matchups that are happening today. Again, every single day here for the next 6 days. That's going to be happening every day. All 16 teams are going to be playing, and it's going to give us plenty of options as far as what we want to cover. So we'll have updates for you if we get them in, which I'm sure we will, as far as score updates and whatnot for all those other matches as soon as possible. Maybe after this one's finished or whatnot. But speaking of this is the one that matters. Let's be honest. We're casting it here. QsQ versus the Returners. Game number 2 has officially begun. So you ready?
I am more than ready, as I always am.
I'm sure you guys are ready too. Let's watch some angry Testy and crew taking on QsQ here in game number 2. Will they come back, or will QsQ sweep the series 2-0? So jumping on into it. On that note, very important thing to bring up, being a best-of-3 series here in the group stages. First, of course, it's record, but in the case of record, then I believe you go to head-to-head. But if it happens to be a 3-way tie, which does happen all the time in group stages, actually, as we've realized, then it goes to points. You get more points for winning a series 2-0 than you do 2-1. So for QsQ, you're looking to sweep this series. You want to sweep the series because that could prove to play a role in the end. And no matter what now, obviously, for the returners, the best they could do is 2-1, but still, a win is a win. So
definitely. And there's that voodoo lock yet again from QsQ. I mean, it seems to work out for them. I really do prefer something that gives more burst, but yeah, and let's go over those blind bands real fast here.
Oh, so you said lock, yeah.
Oh, did I say?
Yeah. No, you were right. You said voodoo lock. I thought you meant kinesis band, but I'm sorry.
Herb Dirt Breaky. No,
that was me.
The blind bands are Kinesis and Warbeast yet again for QsQ, and then Hellborn go ahead and ban the Tundra as well as the Fade. They don't want to deal with that, seeing how QsQ now has the first pick. But yeah, that lock yet again, that Voodoo Jester, just an interesting hero. Last time they dual landed with the Torturer. That was interesting in itself. Yeah. Lots of damage, but at the same time very squishy. So, but it ended up working out for them. Again, everything leads to another. That Bloodlust on Ophelia really paid dividends and made a huge impact on the rest of the game. But the rest of the locks, Cthulhu and Bubbles coming out for the returners. Yeah,
you're so right, though. I mean, this is just, it's one of these heroes that, every team seems like they may have one of those heroes themselves or even a couple. But for QsQ, it is Voodoo Jester. Voodoo Jester is just, you can guarantee, it seems like, casting them, that we are going to see that hero be picked up. Again, SQY, he's the one that loves to play it. And you got to wonder if we're going to start seeing some respect for that from other teams in the near future of, maybe they'll throw a blind ban for it. I mean, as we see here, Kinesis and Warbeast blind banned by QsQ. You wouldn't do that against any other team except for the returners here. So you got to wonder a little bit, but is that worth it in the end? Obviously, most teams right now don't, all teams really, just don't think that is the case. You got the Cthulhu Font Bubbles follow-up locks. Then there's the Bombardier Dark Lady, actually. So Bombardier, again, locked, and also that Dark Lady throwing in the lock pool. So we can see carry here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, QsQ really, really does love their Dark Lady, and I would not be surprised to see them first pick. And one of the great things you can do, I was just talking with someone about this, that if your first pick and there's a hero that you master well and you feel very comfortable playing, but you know that the other team has a very high chance of not picking it, in this case, Voodoo Jester. Most teams do not like playing Voodoo Jester because they just don't like him. They don't like how he has really very little damage at the beginning. His stun is great, but just offers a low burst damage. Yeah. But say they feel very comfortable picking Voodoo and playing him, as we've seen time and time again. They first lock it because they know that the other team is not going to pick it. So you can also throw in another powerhouse hero like Dark Lady, safely take that, and not worry about the Voodoo Jester getting picked up.
Yeah, it's very, very true, and that is a strength, no doubt, for a team like QsQ. So how about that final lock, though? Gladiator, final locked over here from the returners. Talk about a hero we never see anymore on the competitive scene. Banned, locked, picked. Locked here by the returners. Is there potential here, you think, or is it just a case of we needed a hero to lock?
For the longest time, I talked about how I think Gladiator is the worst hero in Han. For the longest time. I don't care if we saw it in the MSI Tri-Lane days. I don't care if it dominated then. It was still horrible. But I've kind of thought about it a little bit, and I'm going to continue to think about it. And since so many teams, the metagame right now, so many teams are, okay, be passive for a long time, then group up as 5 and push. When you're grouping up as 5 and pushing, Gladiator is a huge strength. If at any time you catch them in a pitfall, you can initiate on them and blast them to pieces. with a massive burst whip if you get a good crit on it out of that shroud. And so I'm starting to think that he actually has more of a place. He does suffer immensely in the laning phase. That's the reason why I never really liked him. He also pushes up the wave naturally unless you opt out and just hold your skill points. That's one strat you can do. But he definitely does have a place in the metagame right now. And I would not be surprised to see him picked up, but highly unlikely.
So you think Fnatic MSI had all the success with the worst hero in the game?
Yes. Yes. No, I mean, it was a different
boy.
time. I mean, I'm kidding right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, obviously.
It was a different time back then, and obviously, if you look at the strategies now,
Yeah.
and you put them up against the strategies back then, it would crush them. It would crush the strategies back then. Not even close. But
that is crazy to think.
not to say that the skill level was different. Like, the skill levels of the players way back then, WHP, old Fnatic MSI, they were so skillful, but the strategies have evolved into a much stronger state right now that it's way more evolved, it's way better, it's way more refined. But the skill was always there.
Yeah, interesting. So, well, in the end, obviously in that lock pool, so maybe we did all that discussion on it for nothing. But hey, like I said, we never really get to see him at all, even locked, picked, banned. So it's worth talking a little bit about it. But the banning phase finished. We had Jerizaiah, Tempest, Parasite, Pharaoh, Draconis, and Nymphora. So there you go, looking at that banning pool. Pharaoh actually thrown in as one of the bans. Of course, played last game from Q Squad by Jonas and Fan, and definitely was an impact. So Emperor did not want to have to deal with that again. Ophelia is going to be the first pick here from Q Squad. So strong start for them.
Yeah, definitely. I would not be surprised to see Glacius picked up. Very, very good counter against that Ophelia. Yep, bam, right away. Pretty much picked up on that Glacius. And then Pebbles, actually, I didn't see him available there, but they're going to go with the Glacius Pebbles, a very, very strong lane in its own right. Most likely we'll see that go mid. I love seeing the Glacius Pebbles mid, especially mid, because not only do you get pretty much free farm on Pebbles, but it's such a strong lane that you can pretty much kill anyone you want to, save like you have a double or a dual range lane, which Q Squad might actually do. I mean, we saw them do Forsaken Archer last game. Of course, they didn't dual lane it, but you know, we could see something like a Voodoo Jester and a Forsaken Archer. We could even see a Voodoo Jester Torture yet again. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, actually. I am looking at the Hellborn team. Oh, never mind. We'll eventually see what if it comes to that. But yeah, so the next two picks coming up here from Q Squad. I don't know. I'm just going to say it. I'm thinking something like a Gladiator Bubbles from that lock pool, man. And you go with a jungle here, something like that Keeper of the Forest, I guess, as a jungle hero for the Hellborn team. I think that could actually be pretty more so on the fun side to watch. So maybe not necessarily the most strategic thing to do, but just working with that lock pool, you got to have some ideas, obviously. But
I'll tell you, Gladiator, if you get someone to set it up for him,
yeah,
like say they go for a Keeper of the Forest right now.
Yeah.
If they went for Keeper of the Forest right now, and then assuming that Q Squad is going to take that Dark Lady, which I'm pretty much 100% sure they are. Then Gladiator would actually work out very well with the synergize. It synergizes very well with the Keeper ultimate. So does Pebbles, actually. Something tells me that they're not going to go for that, but it would be fun.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going back to as well. That would be kind of cool. It does set up a lot of things, and that could be pretty crazy. So
I agree with you, though. I think a jungler here would be perfect. In fact, even Legionnaire would be great, too. But I do think a jungler would fit best here, seeing how they're most likely going to get that Suicide Bubbles if Dark Lady is picked. Now, Q Squad could throw a curveball and go for a Bubbles, but no, they're going to go with a Silhouette. So maybe a short lane Silhouette. And then they could go with a Cthulhu font in the jungle. They could still go with that. So maybe they're still going to go for that Bubbles and maybe Cthulhu font. That's my guess.
Emperor definitely known for running that style of Cthulhu font, even especially where others really don't anymore. But Silhouette, now the unfortunate thing about that is obviously probably not going to see that Gladiator pick up in the end from our Hellborn team. So a little bit of a darn moment, but hey. There is a lot on the line here. Of course, this being the first match of the group stages, want to get off to a strong start, and they're down 1-0. So really can't blame them. Aluna Plague Rider, by the way, were the final two picks for Q Squad. We're talking so much about the returners, but Aluna Plague Rider. Then their first pick out of the lock pool is Bubbles, sure enough, actually. So confident in the Dark Lady, but not going to go Dark Lady this time around.
The Silhouette pick switched it up, and that was a smart move by Q Squad. There's no way you're going to have a Pebbles, Silhouette, and Dark Lady, although it'd be really funny to see them actually pick Dark Lady to actually screw them over. But they're going to go with Cthulhu font. I feel like they have to go like Voodoo here. And just go dual lanes, perhaps. I'm not quite sure. Maybe start out with a pseudo tri lane with a Voodoo and two other heroes, and And
I
they're
was
go
going to say they can go bomb, yeah, because if they do the Cthulhu Font jungle, then they could just do the bomb solo mid as well. But yeah, that does set up, yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to have either a rocky long lane, which they could actually do, like say an aggressive jungle with Cthulhu Font, a dual range like Glacius, or they could even just go Glacius Pebbles and have solo bomb mid, solo short silhouette. I think that would be actually appropriate, because seeing how both Cthulhu Font and Glacius actually counter Ophelia quite well.
There's that Dark Lady pickup from Q Squad, so as expected when it's all said and done, not going to see the Voodoo Jester this time around, so Q Squad switching it up a little bit even. They go with the Aluna support instead, and if I was going to say if it's not even swapped to SQY, that would really shock me, but no, he's going to swap that, and there we go. So both teams coming out here. We do get to see some Bombardier action, and Jeppins, I'm sure, yeah, great player that he is. I'm sure he'll do just fine right here. And, you know, we have seen him make an appearance here every now and then on the competitive scene. And definitely here, as we talk about when we do see him, he's got crazy burst. He can assist you in team fights no matter where he is because of that airstrike ability, of course, with its global ultimate.
Yeah.
So that definitely could prove to be very useful. And can be pretty annoying to deal with in the laning phase as well, between that boom dust and sticky bomb. So interested to see how Jeppins does here on Bombardier.
Yeah, definitely. The lanes I feel like are going to be quite obvious. Probably a Bubbles mid. He is actually walking top, but with those items especially, and it's the way that the game is probably going to be set up, I expect a Bubbles mid, a Suicide Plague, being played by Jonas and Fan. He's also walking top. So maybe they just all want to walk top together, as they did last game. They all walked bottom together to get that fast rune off and maybe find someone to pick off, which they did. They found Ophelia last time. So we're probably going to see that pseudo tri-lane bottom, Aluna, Dark Lady, and Ophelia. But that's probably going to go up against, I'm assuming, a Pebbles, Glacius, and then Cthulhu Font with Silhouette top. Actually, Silhouette bought mid items, it looks like, going with those slippers, or sorry, the duck boots. And we might see a short lane bomb, which I would expect bomb actually to go mid. But we'll see. It'll be bomb against Plague, and I definitely favor, I favor bomb, actually.
See, but Bubbles is actually going up here by himself currently. Again, it's so hard to say here in a pause what exactly is going to happen, but Bubbles is going up top by himself, and he doesn't have wards on him. Luna's the one with the wards. I mean, usually this wouldn't be that odd, but if he had the wards on him, maybe just going to place a quick ward, but he doesn't. So this is interesting, actually, how this may play out in the end. I mean, maybe it was just more of a misclick, or just wanted to go that way initially, but choosing to go somewhere else. But again, we're in a pause, so really you can't think into it too much. We'll just have to wait and see until it actually happens, and then we'll be able to make our comments on them, especially you. So, still going to be sitting in the pause, though, hopefully for not too much longer. Again, this is game number 2 here with a 1-0 series lead in favor of Q Squad in what is a Group A matchup. So, as I talked about earlier, this is just game 1 here of these group stages. But, you know, you being a player yourself, you have plenty of experience, even in the style of format somewhat.
Right.
How important would you say it is for it to get off to a good start here in the group stages?
I mean, obviously you have a lot more games to play, and it's not like it's going to hurt your chances that much by losing and dropping the games here in the first round. But it's more of a moral thing. Like, you want to be in a good mental state, especially taking on, this is probably going to be one of their hardest matchups in the entire group stage. So winning this would definitely put you in a great spot mentally. And I think that's the most important thing, honestly. But we're going to see lots of heroes roaming down here in the bottom. You got Cthulhu Font, Glacius, Silhouette, and even Pebbles is roaming down here. They're going to find 3, and if they actually clash, they are going to destroy in this engagement, especially against Ophelia, who is pretty horrible in level 1 engagements. Even Darkly is actually not that great. Does have charging strikes to get away if she needs to. But we'll see if they're able to catch him off guard. This is a great level 1 start if they do find somebody here down the bottom lane.
So, of course, Angry Testy on the Silhouette. You see Enzo going to lead the way, though, on Pebbles. Darkly a little bit pushed up, but not going to go too far. And there is no courier down here, actually. Usually we see the couriers kind of scouting it out for one another, but both teams, ground couriers? Yeah, both teams ground couriers, actually. I'm always fascinated by that. I mean, first off, you get a free courier off the bat now. Obviously, that didn't used to always be the case. That eventually was put in. Why would a team never upgrade the courier off the bat? Is that really? Maybe I am overthinking, and maybe that is more of a big deal than I'm making it out to be. But are you fine with teams not leveling up courier right off the bat, or is that just not a big deal?
Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes you just feel like if you're a support and you know you're going to be clashing, it's better to have extra regen items on you. Because if you do clash, you're going to want to have those extra stats, those extra regen items. If you know you're dodging, Like, say you know you're going to go up against one, and actually QsQ, they did switch up their lane, so it's going to be a solo Bubbles down here. And that's a smart move by them. In fact, Luna's already wrapping around Silhouette mid, and so she's going to have a little bit of a harder time already putting on some harass with that power throw. So they're going to match up a dual lane here mid, Luna and Dark Lady against the Silhouette. And will the Hellborn team respond? I sure hope so. They're going to have a Glacius Pebbles against this Bubbles. They need to get lane control first. But to answer your question, yeah, if you're dodging and you know you're against one where like the support hero is not really going to have an engagement at all, then it's fine to upgrade the courier. But when you know you're clashing, which in this case, of course, they did switch it up, so they didn't know, it's better to have those stats.
Fair enough. Pebbles, though, as you mentioned, the Pebbles combination at the bottom lane, Pebbles versus Bubbles. So getting that lane control first, but Glacius is already roaming a little bit with Cthulhu. Cthulhu going to run into Ophelia. Actually, he's going to go Ninja the Creep, or he went for it, but wasn't able to get there in time. So Malay, I think he actually might have killed his own creep before the Hookum was able to be used by Cthulhu, which was on cooldown anyways. But the Catman champion did die nonetheless. So a little bit of harassment there, but not really too much happening in the end. This bottom lane, I mean, Bubbles so far, he's actually off to a pretty good start. 5-3 against a 1-1 Pebbles. So yeah, that's not good news for the returners, I would take it.
It's definitely not good news. I mean, Bubbles is having a great time down here. Pebbles really should have the better end, especially having a little bit of an edge in the beginning with just the presence of Glacius and Cthulhu being there. But he says, I ain't no bitch, and he's actually playing quite aggressively, using some aggressive shell surfs. But yeah, Pebbles off to a little bit of a slow start. Hopefully he can bounce back with some maybe assistance. Missing several creep kills right there, but here comes the roam from Glacius and Cthulhu. The stun is up on Cthulhu. He hasn't leveled it yet, but it's there. And the slow from, actually, the stun does hit. Actually, it was close. Glacius trying to cut off this, but in the top lane, actually, Jonasafan picks off Jeppins with help of Male. In the meantime, Bubbles will maybe go down. A couple more auto attacks. Has a take cover. There's the Chuck, actually. He actually take covers the Chuck. It's going to be very, very close. And actually, Cthulhu might be in a lot of trouble. Oh, my God. Bubbles might even get a kill. Glacius, one more auto attack. No, the take cover is used. Bubbles is really playing this bottom lane, and now Glacius is actually in a bit of a pickle.
Style, doing things in style, man. This guy knows what's up. What play coming out from Bubbles, and now Glacius is the one that he has to sneak on out of there, as he will be finding the Yam. But wow, that was quite the play indeed coming out from Bubbles. What it just seemed like should have been a sure kill. I mean, they were positioning themselves perfectly from the beginning. Bombardier in the meantime at the top lane, yeah, got the tail action of that. He eventually falls, though. Ophelia comes roaming in, being clipped by Malay, and sets up a kill. Jonasafan on Plague Rider, officially the one to get the kill. So good news for QsQ right there, not only with Bubble staying alive, but then, of course, the top lane getting a kill in favor of Plague Rider. So all three lanes right now not going bad. The middle and top being one even. The bottom lane, obviously, maybe Pebbles not doing too bad, but missing out on a kill opportunity there has got to sting a little bit.
I just don't understand, first of all, just throwing Silhouette mid over top. I mean, Silhouette has an escape mechanism. Yes, you could argue that Ophelia could still gank mid and put pressure onto whoever is mid, and maybe it's better to have Silhouette there to get away from those ganks, but I just think it's a smarter route to have Bomb in mid and not top. You can still kind of avoid ganks in the mid lane despite not having an escape mechanism, using those trees to your advantage, but yeah, this top lane, Bomb's off to a very, very slow start right now. He does have 10 CS to Plague, who has actually 11, but getting those kills from Ophelia is really going to help the QsQ. They're already off to a huge lead, 2,200 gold, 1,700 experience almost. Well, actually dipped down just a little bit just there, but off to a great start so far. The main thing right now is Pebbles needs to get farm, and he's not getting it. He's definitely not getting it to how he needs to.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's really that top lane is one thing to be losing up here in the favor of, or in Bombardier's sake, and obviously in favor of Jonasafan here on Plague Rider for QsQ. But the bottom lane, I mean, the way it's going, you would think you get that early start with Pebbles and then have him start to be able to take off a little bit. But style on Bubbles, man, he has a level advantage. You see right there, he gets level 5 top lane. In the meantime, there's a gank attempt on a Plague Rider. He's going to use a contagion nuke, slowing down Bombardier. The trample completely misses by Emperor, and Plague Rider will easily survive. That is a rare mistake coming out from Emperor right there, especially on Cthulhu. That's one of his go-to heroes. Not too often you would see a moment like that, but hey, even the best of them, it happens to them. And Plague Rider will survive. And meanwhile, in the middle lane, Bubbles going in, not level 6, but will that matter in the end? Glitch is a lot of burst damage. He's going to freeze Bubbles, actually, though. And Bubbles in a little bit of trouble. Will he have a takeover? No, he will not. He will fall. So it ends up being a 1-for-1. if I'm the returners, I guess I'm not too disappointed with that at least.
Yeah, that's a fine trade for them. That was a good play by Angry Testy, getting that tree grapple right immediately. They did dive that Glacius pretty hard. I bet Fitchka's kind of mad about that, but in the meantime, it does give a little bit more room for Pebbles to farm, and that is the key. I mean, I've said this over and over in games where Pebbles is there. It don't matter if your Silhouette's getting absolutely nothing. It doesn't matter if your short lane is getting ganked. You need to get farm up on Pebbles because he's going to jumpstart the game for you. Who cares if Dark Lady is getting good farm, a better farm in mid than your carry? You need to get that farm up onto Pebbles, and hopefully he doesn't die from a gank here that might be happening, might be a brewing from this Catman that's up on Ophelia. Has Striders, by the way. And then Luna's down here. Bubbles is also down here, so Pebbles might be in some trouble.
Yeah, if he gets ganked right here, I mean, again, obviously it sounds like we're in it for the sake of the game, just because, honestly, if Pebbles dies right here, this is really going to start to put the returners back far where it's going to be very difficult to come back from. Pebbles is going to get taken out by the Catman Champion with the stun. In comes Bubbles. There's a Song of the Sea. Chucks him and says, get off me. It's not going to be enough, though. Airstrike going to be used, though. We'll set up a counter kill, at least, on a Bubble, so good reaction from Jeppins there and Bombardier at the top lane. But still, kill 1-for-1 exchange. And Pebbles does go down, so like I was saying, I mean, it's they're definitely in a bit of a hole here early on. It is only 6.5 minutes in, 1,900 gold lead, 1,100 experiences, so not to get too far ahead. But no doubt the returners behind. QsQ is playing very well, though, so far this game at the same time. They're doing exactly what they need to do, it seems like, and it's not a surprise in that sense to see them in the lead even.
Yeah, the scary thing for Bomb now is actually he does apply a bomb. It does hit. Here's the TP coming out from Pebbles, actually. He's going to roam to the top lane. They might be able to set up a kill if that bomb is actually good duration, but no, Pebbles is just too far away. Maybe Plague knows something is up. Maybe Bomb can actually bait here right now. I think if he baited just a little bit more.
Hasted Cthulhu by at the backside as well.
Yep.
He is coming in, so can he land this? Unlike last time. Yes, he'll make sure to land it. There goes the Stalagmites, and down goes Plague Rider. So this time Emperor makes sure to hit the stun with that Hasted Rune. And they get another kill, so some good signs of life here coming out from our Hellborn team, the returners.
Yeah, but again, Bomb, I was going to say, actually, I'm surprised that he's actually 27-5 with his creep score. I feel like it should be lower despite from the ganks that happen from Ophelia. I mean, ganks like that are so devastating on your short lane. And, I mean, it makes a suicide hero like Plague. I definitely give the favor to Bomb versus Plague to Bomb. But when you have a start like that, Plague can easily take that lane just out of control. We've seen it time and time again, actually, with Bubbles, who's gotten ganks, who should lose most matchups there. But if he gets ganks over and over, he can actually make it into a very, very good lane for him. In bottom lane, Ophelia using that level 5 with those two minions, just dropping towers left and right. One tower dead. The second to follow here, this tier 2 tower might fall. That could be huge for them. The glyph is popped. The response is coming out from the returners. Several heroes. There's the port. This is going to be all 5 heroes. And Pebbles is there, doesn't have mana for combo. It's going to be close. Can he maybe even chuck Glacius in? The stun comes out from Male with that Skeleton King. The slow is applied. Is it going to be enough? Not. So they were able to bait out a lot of resistance there coming out, or a lot of response, and still nothing out of it. The deny is actually happening, so despite them getting the deny, they still lose a tier 2 tower 8 minutes in.
Yeah, that's one of those cases where it's like, yeah, it's just like, cool, I guess, but we did just lose a tower at the same time, as you said, as early on as it is in the game. So definitely big push right there coming out from QsQ, and although no kills happened from it and the tower got denied, hey, still mission accomplished in the sense of the tower being destroyed. And as you said as well, all 5 heroes were down there for the Hellborn team. The returners used everything, it seemed like. Bubbles will jump in, Kelphin will catch both Glacius and Silhouette. In comes Dark Lady with that chainsaw. Glacius in a lot of trouble, he will fall. Silhouette trying to survive. The airstrike going to be used by Bombardier. It looks like a little bit of damage, but not enough for any kills. Both Dark Lady and Bubbles got a little bit low, but they survive in the end. So they get a kill on Fitske, and that will be that. At least Silhouette survived again. That's the good news here for the Hellborn team. But it is, you gotta give credit here to QsQ, man. Game 1, they were doing a very similar thing, just playing so aggressive, surrounding Nox on the carry and allowing him to just farm. And yet again, we have a case of them doing that, and it's working. It worked in Game 1 with a victory, and here in Game 2, they no doubt have an early lead. Fitske is going to pour it in, but no catch is going to happen. You see Aluna being chased by Cthulhu Font, but Aluna will pick up the regen rune and run away in laughter. So,
yeah, they're spending a lot of time in mid right now. In the meantime, though, Pebbles is getting good farm on the bottom, and again, I can't stress enough how important that is. Even if you have a good start, if Pebbles is able to get a fast portal key to the point where he can still burst heroes down, even if it's a little bit slower than we're used to, we like to see Pebbles have a portal key up from like the 12 to 15-minute mark with those steam boots. Even if he gets a little bit later, that's okay, as long as he can still burst down these heroes like Bubbles, like Aluna, like Plague. Plague is actually getting quite beefy. He has about 1,000 HP with those investments, so he's going to be actually hard to burst down, but you can still burst down like Dark Lady. So that portal key up on Pebbles is going to be very important. Hopefully, he can keep farming, finding places and ways to farm.
You see Melee right here using the Vulture Lord, and it seems like we've been seeing more and more of this, where they use the Tornado, they harass the lane out quite a bit, and it's definitely working right there. Afuna's going to throw a heal in the meantime, because at the top of the initiation on the Bombardier, Bombardier will end up falling. Just a 3-man gank, just too much pressure. Bottom lane in the meantime, Dark Lady going to get ganked by Glacius, and Pebbles here, he does not have a Homecoming Stone. Here is a chance, Q Squad trying to get away with Nox. He looks like he is going to be fine, as the charging strikes is more than fine for him. In fact, turns around with the Taint Soul. Bubbles now jumping in. Bubbles will get the kill. The Kelp field comes out. And now Pebbles actually a little bit of trouble. Remember, the no towers are here. That's a big deal. He will not take the stun, though. Just wearing off right there. And at least Enzo will survive. But how about that? A 2 versus 1 turns out to be a 3 versus 2 in favor of the other team. And Q Squad gets a kill out of it. So, I mean, the returners, they're obviously trying to make things happen. But, again, Q Squad, they really are playing on the ball here in game number 2.
Yeah, they're playing very aggressively, and they're just simply outplaying. I mean, they're a little bit more. They're more seasoned. They've been practicing, and it's definitely showing. They're making very few mistakes. The only mistakes I've seen, honestly, in this whole series right now has just been some questionable item pickups, but that's not the biggest deal in the world. They're definitely playing like a top 4 team right now.
Again, Emperor missing. The airstrike, though, going to make up. Jeppins comes through for Emperor Anka through the phone right there. He missed the initial trample. I mean, it was a pretty good sidestep from Aluna, but at least Jeppins cleans up for him. They're going to push this top tower in the meantime. In the middle lane, also being pressured. Angry Tessie is there on Silhouette, but he will not be able to do nearly enough, it looks like. The top tower goes down. Imports. Bubbles going for a kill, but through the phone, a great trample away at the last second before he eventually falls. And this middle tower, it looks like it will stay alive, so a good exchange right there for the Hellborn side. But still, Q Squad, 3,200 goal lead, 1,800 experience lead right now in their favor. Bubbles being played by Style. He's been a very active Bubbles this game. Remember the getaway he had early on as well in that 3 versus 1 gank. He is 1, 2, and 4, so obviously having the 2 deaths, not the unfortunate for him, but hey, 1 kill, 4 assists, and 7 kills total for the team. Not too shabby. He continues to play active. By the way, picking up Striders. Not too often you see that on Bubbles. But he's got Striders, and he's making them work, I guess.
Striders, Gravelock, it's a portal key. It's a very common, it really is a common, actually, pickup with, the initiating style heroes. We'd like see like Polly get that. We see Witch Slayer get that. Fade, Behemoth, right. And he's just going to go bread and butter. And he's doing well. I mean, he's feeling it this game. When you saw that exchange bottom, you just know he's in the zone. He really is. The port's coming in. The Glyph is actually popped. Can I get the deny? Yes, Angry Tessie does get the deny using that salvo. Might be in a little bit of trouble. He's actually playing a little bit aggressive here. He does use that ultimate. They might actually go on the illusion there, thinking it's the real one, but he will be fine. So good deny there eventually, but still, they're losing map control. They did get a tower of their own, but is it going to be enough? Pebbles is free farming the top lane. It's very important. A lot of grouping up coming out from Q Squad while Nox is farming alone, uncontested down here, and that's exactly what they have to do.
Again, it's what Q Squad's been doing lately. It's even as recently as Game 1, we talked about it a lot with that Forsaken Archer strat with Nox playing Forsaken Archer, and the rest of the team was just roaming around, setting up kills, if at the very least distracting the returners. And it's kind of seeming like the same thing here. They're building it. They built around Dark Lady to play very active, keep the other team distracted at the very least, while she just free farms in another lane. And it is showing 402 gold per minute. So yet again, Nox is having a phenomenal farming game. You keep talking about Pebbles. He continues to do solid. Enzo has 273 right now on Pebbles. Angry Tessie on Silhouette has 275. So, again, they're doing solid, but they're not really taking off. Silhouette does choose to go a couple Soul Scream rings, actually. So you think that's really a case of the situation here? Go on the stat items with the Soul Scream rings?
Yeah, I just think he wants some extra stats. Realizes that he's not going to be farming a fast Nullstone anytime soon. If that's what he decides to go, I don't think that's a good pickup here. I think something like a more battle-type build, so the Whispering Helm into like a Shrunken Head or Geometer's Bane would be smarter here against specifically the Bubbles. And the Shrunken Head is great against both Bubbles and Dark Lady, and actually their whole team. I mean, the Plague Rider ultimate that mitigates all that damage. So, but the bottom line is he's going to be farming slowly. wants the extra stats, so maybe even going to go for an Energizer. I wouldn't see it to be that bad of an item here, but we'll wait and see. But yeah, nonetheless, they need to get that portal key up on a Pebbles. He's actually quite close, and big props also to Jeppins. These airstrikes have actually been on par, despite him having a very slow start. So.
Yeah, he is. You're right. We've seen a couple that have set up kills. Another one that did a little bit of damage, didn't get a kill out of it, but at least assisted somewhat. He definitely has been trying. He got killed earlier on, but 2, 3, and 1 now. He's farming 250 gold per minute. So you pull up the gold per minute chart. I mean, again, at the top of it, it is pretty solid all around here for the returners, and especially compared to the Legion team other than Dark Lady. I mean, this actually is a fairly even game, but obviously Dark Lady being up there as high as she is, and that is very scary news here for the Hellborn side, as we constantly see at this point, getting farm yourself, getting comfortable, getting that portal key on Pebbles, and then starting to play very aggressive is really, I think, where the Hellborn team is at right now. And they do have an aggressive team, especially with that Pebbles portal key pickup. So he's got 1,500 gold on his way to it. It is getting close. Will it happen here in the near future, or will we see yet another initiation coming out from QsQ? They are pressuring the top lane a little bit. Bubbles is up here, but Playground is one in the lane. There's the Rune Cleaver finished, by the way, on Dark Lady. So, again, that's the really scary point. Now, the jungle creeps are not stacked, nor are the Ancients, so that's a little bit unfortunate for Nox there, but he will just continue to push the bottom lane for the meantime, and now it looks like going into the jungle. So, again, kind of good news there for the returners that those jungle camps at least aren't all stacked up for him, despite just getting it. But this top lane is in a lot of trouble. Jeppins needs to be really careful here that he doesn't push up too much. In fact, Bubbles, he's trying to get aggressive, ports all the way in, but he did attack Bombardier, actually, and I believe that allowed him to spot him. So he's just going to play very passive now, as he should. Well, looks like the returners, though, they may want to make a move here. Through the flank, Glacius running up, but Bubbles still just sitting in there. It's just a matter of time now, I feel.
Yeah, Angry Testy does have a portal, or sorry, a TP up ready. They do spot Bubbles, actually, so they knew that he was still there. The bomb is there. He gets just destroyed right there. Emperor actually does pop out of that Kel field. He's actually going to be okay. One more nuke from Jonas Fan does seal the deal. There's the stun actually from Pebbles. Can he get the combo? No. Good stun from the Minotaur from Molly, so Pebbles is not going to be able to combo up. Response maybe from Darkly? No, she's going to say, you guys got it. 1-for-1 exchange. No big deal. I'm going to keep farming and do my thing. So.
Just like last game, and just as we keep going back to, Nox is just free farming while all that happens. So if you're the opposition, in this case the returners, you need to take advantage. You need to win those fights big time and force a reaction, but they're not able to get that, unfortunately. So it was a great jump, but Cthulhu did die, as he said. A 1-for-1 exchange set up. The Plague Rider ultimate was used, but there was a great spread actually for the Hellborn team. It didn't even bounce a single time, so that was the good news too. Pebbles getting very close. He's going to be level 11 here in the near future. He has nearly 2,000 cold saves up, so that portal key is coming up here very, very quickly. And again, I do keep going back to, these jungle camps are not being stacked right now for Nox. You see him, he's just going to continue to clean up the single stacks here. So sure, his gold farm is increasing, but it's not going crazy like it could. But portal key finally purchased now by Pebbles. This top lane still being pressured by the Legion team, though. They really want this tower kill. We do see initiation on Silhouette. That is a real one right there. And the SEO got bursted down. Angry Tessie trying to be a little bit crafty with the split, but not going to be enough. Great dive by Malder right there with those minions. The Minotaur stun on top of the Catman champion. Too much for Silhouette to handle, actually. So that is actually a big loss right here for the Hellborn side. We do see through the bottom. Great trampoline hitting a lot of heroes. The airstrike on top of that. The Obliterate Plague Rider's going to fall before doing anything. And the Legion team now in a little bit of trouble. Pebbles running in. He does not have his combo just yet. Bombardment could have been coming out. Bubbles trying to get away. There's that kick in the air, though. And Bubbles will fall. Aluna just ports out. Ophelia running. Will this sticky bomb hit? It's going to be clutch here. Jeppins, yes, he will hit the sticky bomb. Boom dust, boom dust, boom dust, baby. In comes a Bombardment. Here comes Pebbles. And there's the guaranteed kill. So good cleanup coming out from the returners.
That's good. I mean, it looked really scary. They used a lot to kill that plague and still barely killed him. So I was like, oh my god, this is going to be horrible for them. They eventually turned it around, and it was a great exchange for them. And then it has to be when Dark Lady's not showing up for these fights. Like, if you're losing these exchangements with Dark Lady not even there, that's when you know, okay, this game is looking grim. But they were able to come back. That portal key proven to be a very effective pickup for Pebbles, as it really always is. That's why Pebbles is almost always first picked. Engagement here in the mid, though. Bubbles maybe looking for something, as well as that Luna. They did lose Silhouette in that exchange, so that was unfortunate for them. But, yeah, the key thing here is Dark Lady is going to get scary out of hand. Already has that Abyssal Skull picked up, I mean, just minutes after. Not even minutes, yeah, just like 2 minutes after that Rune Cleaver, and then already at 800 gold.
But again, you know, because they were so distracted, perhaps, of being at the top lane, no stacks going on. I mean, do you think QsQ is making a mistake with that, or is it really fine because they're distracting and he still is getting farm ultimately?
It's not the biggest deal because when Dark Lady can kill the camps so quickly that they're just constantly respawning. Like, if you kill them before 37, it doesn't really matter if you stack it. The only problem is, of course, you can't be in more camps, or you can't be in more than one camp at once. That's the only problem. But going to do a little bit stacking of her own. It's not the biggest deal in the world. I mean, she's still going to farm ridiculously fast on her own. She can stack where she needs to by herself. So the one thing I will say that's bad is that Bubbles is actually losing out on quite a lot of farm and experience.
Yeah.
He had a great start, but right now he's sitting at 1,000 gold, but not really farming anywhere, not really doing anything else. In fact, most of the farm is being sucked up on this Dark Lady. So if this continues, what the returners need to do in these team fights is actually make sure that Plague Rider does not get an ulti off, because I feel like if they kill Plague, the only one dishing out damage, in my opinion, is going to be that Dark Lane. Actually, Bubbles in a lot of trouble. The airstrike comes out, and he will go down. Ultimate Warrior coming out for end, so I missed the tail end, or I missed the...
Well, no, that was obviously just a portal key jump from Pebbles. It got him very low. He used to take cover, almost got away, but with the Ophelia heal, but the airstrike guaranteed the kill. So again, Jeppins, you mentioned it earlier, and he really does deserve credit, man. He is landing those airstrike. That isn't the easiest ability to land. I mean, sure, it's global, and you can use it when it's ever soft cooldown anywhere, but it's a straight line ability. It's a slight delay to it, so you need to time it pretty well. And he's been landing those, so you got to give him a lot of credit. We do see Glacius porting away at the... Oh, no, that wasn't Glacius. That was Plague Rider porting away at the top lane. Silhouette was going to try to maybe jump in, but he was fine and is able to get back to base. Has a tablet of command his own now, by the way. So
the Plague, yeah.
The Plague Rider does, as does Bombardier, of course, as I was just referring to. So, but yeah, Jeppin's doing work here for the Hellborn team. And again, this goal per minute chart, it continues to be very interesting to me, at least. It stays very steady here for really both sides, other than Dark Lady. It is increasing more and more for the Hellborn team. We do see a jumper in the middle lane, and Luna got picked off. So again, that quick portal key. Bubbles trying to counter, though, going for Glacius. He is diving deep for Glacius. Bubbles, this might be a poor choice right here. He's going to take cover, though. A little bit of distraction. Plague is going to come out. There's a lot of creeps, though. He's going to have to hope that absorbs up most of it, which it does. There's the good news. A tablet away. One more bounce happened. Oh, nice shell serve coming up from Bubbles, though. And Pebbles will be picked off. Glacius now in a little bit of trouble. Dark Lady ultimate used, though. Bombardier now being taken out. Silhouette, a great trigger grapple by Angry Tessie, actually, preventing a kill on a Bombardier. But now a push coming from the Legion team. Nox says, I'm here, bitches. And this tower is going to start taking some good damage now. So we'll see if the Hellborn team can do much to react to this. Bombardier does not have his ultimate up just yet.
And not just yet. I didn't see that shell surf, but it must have been clutch, because I thought Pebbles was okay by far, but that was a huge pick-off, getting Pebbles like that. It really resulted in a lot. They really did Glacius as well, and then a tower on top of that. So good exchange for QsQ. And again, that Dark Lady's farm just skyrockets, 510 now, and this is a hero that they're very comfortable with.
Yeah, it is. You said from the very beginning when they locked it, it's definitely a hero. Let's be honest. I mean, I'm sure a lot of teams wouldn't mind picking up Dark Lady, but QsQ, again, specifically Nox, he is our go-to carry player, and he just does it so well, it seems like. He's 1-0-2 now, 508 gold per minute, and it just will keep going up and up. That's what he always seems to do. The Firebrand pickup, the Geometers being, I'm sure, going to be next in line. This tower at the top lane just absolutely melting away. Nothing the Hellborn team can do to stop that. So once again, Angry Tessie will go the Shield Breaker route, picking that up after the couple of Soul Scream rings and that Steam Boot initial pickup. So he passes up the Nullstone, which you did address earlier probably wouldn't be the best choice. So
right. I think that Shield Breaker is just fine. I think a Shrunken Head is definitely necessary after the Shield Breaker. He definitely wants to have enough damage so that they can kill this Dark Lady, who is sitting at relatively low life but doing a massive amount of damage. But really, I feel like has no reason to want a team fight right now. If they just take this late, they're going to massively out-farm. Like, Dark Lady is going to have 700 gold per minute when the highest on the Hellborn side is going to have maybe 380, 400. So they're fine with just having Dark Lady farm, and they don't have to take an engagement right now. And I think they're fine with that.
Well, we do see a little bit of roam coming out from our Hellborn team, and they're going to maybe catch some heroes here. Waterside placed down, gave them some vision, but all five are down here for both teams, so we are going to have a fight coming out. Jeppins, the sticky bomb will miss. Pebbles jumps in, though, onto Ophelia, kind of misses the combination, but it will hit it. Airstrike comes out, and Ophelia dies, but Dark Lady joins the party. Dark Lady's in a lot of trouble, though. Nice Cthulhu bust done, but Dark Lady with half-life, she will run away right now. 1-for-1 pick. Pebbles for Ophelia. Silhouette in the midst of it, falling back, but there's that play. Good, the swap from a Silhouette, but it bounces between the Illusion and herself. She will go down, and with Angry Tessie dead, this is going to be great news for Q Squad. Cthulhuphon falls, Bombardier just on the run now. He's going to go for a port out, but Bubbles, what a port out. No, not enough for the burst damage, and actually Jeppens will be fine. Fitzke, not the same story for him. Jonathan Pham finishes with a double tap, possible Congo attempt now. Wouldn't be surprised, especially at this point, but 24 minutes in, Q Squad. Big fight taken for them right there.
They're just taking such risky engagements. I mean, when you're going onto an Ophelia and you're bursting so much, and not even so that you're using your spells on Ophelia, but that you're putting yourself in a bad position after that. You're going to have a way to either burst Ophelia and then get ready to burst someone else immediately after, or kill one and get the hell out of there. But what they did is they killed one and then kind of sat, or we got him, guys, now what do we do? And it just didn't work out. It was too risky. They were down too much. And whenever you're fighting, too, against a Dark Lady that has that much farm and you're not initiating on her, it just is going to be hell.
Yeah.
So
I mean, she did. She got actually trampled early on. It looked like that the Hellborn team was maybe going to be able to hopefully follow that up for their sake, but obviously the Returners was not able to get the follow-up damage. The charging strikes away defensively from Dark Lady and then eventually came back to help clean up. Speaking of Dark Lady, look at Cthulhuphon fall as if he's a freaking Glacius, just gets melted apart. Dark Lady just showing us really the damage output that she can do right now, especially with those Dark Blades activated, even on a Cthulhuphon. So he just melts to the ground. As I said, Congo, obviously, he is up now 25 minutes into the game, so still maybe fairly a little bit early here. But at least still a possibility, no doubt, for Q Squad. But the lead is starting to get bigger and better, and you stressed it earlier. This is really a game for Q Squad. They can just play passive as they want. They can just sit back and farm, which they're not even doing. They weren't doing these last couple of minutes, but now they're going to go back to sit back and farming some more, and the goal per minute chart is just reflecting that more and more as this game progresses now.
yeah, definitely. I don't know if we mentioned too, but Cthulhuphon did pick up a portal key.
Yes.
And so yeah, he's been using that a couple times, and wants to have another jump option there with that Pebbles, who does jump in. And I mean, if he's not farming anything really, I think that's okay. But it's just going to be hard. He's not going to be tanky at all, like you saw. Dark Lady is just going to eat him alive. And Jeppens actually farming pretty decently, but it's just not enough. It just simply isn't not enough. When you have a great ultimate like Plague, when you have a heal coming out from Ophelia, the double heal has the Astrolabe on top of that ultimate, and then a Dark Lady, the farming close to 600 GPM, it's just going to be not enough. They're going to have to ask for a huge mistake coming out from Q Squad.
Yeah, and that's an unfortunate thing, but you know, you're right. It's definitely what the Returners are going to have to kind of hope for their sake. And I say unfortunate because, you know, of course they're down 1-0. Game 3 would definitely be awesome, but Q Squad, this is no doubt a team that you got to favor going into this event for good reasons, because of the recent success as far as finishing a top 3. And right now they are making some strong points as to why that's a very valid argument to make. So the Hellborn Tower, or the Hellborn will get a tower kill here at the bottom lane from a creep push that happened. So that's a little bit of good news again coming out for the Returners. Silhouette, she does have a level 2 shield breaker here, so still not upgraded to level 3 moment just yet. But once again, going to gather up here at the bottom portion of the map. Some good counter warding going on from Fitzke as well as Wards himself, so they are not being seen right now. But you do have Q Squad. Look at what they're doing. They got Plague Rider, Luna, and Ophelia ready to go. In the meantime, Bubbles pushing the middle lane and Dark Lady pushing the top lane. So they're really, really forcing the Returners to make something happen here in the very near future, if anything, because the longer they just draw this out, we keep going back to it, they are going to absolutely lose this game. So will they commit to a push? Will they commit to falling back? The top tower goes down. Bubbles is now falling back a little bit, but Bubbles actually going to jump Glacius, who is by himself, running back actually, and just almost gives Bubbles a free kill right there. Pebbles or Cthulhuphon will pour it in. Bubbles going to sneak away though. He does have portal key in 1 more second. He's going to probably use it right here. There we go. He is going to run into Silhouette though. Bubbles actually in a little bit of trouble, and I believe they're going to get a kill at least. Well, they at least got some revenge for Glacius.
Yeah, but Glacius got Bubbles got to pick off. And in the meantime, I mean, that's basically, I didn't see how many people ported, but that's a lot of people walking around together for Returners, and they're losing out on a lot of farm time. Farm time that, you know, Dark Lady just soaking up 620 gold per minute and rising, has the Frostburn, has the Shrunken Head, has another 1,200 gold just about saved up. And, I mean, it's getting to the point, really, where if you get any kind of jump onto that Hellborn team with like a Bubbles Kelp Field and then an ultimate from Plague Rider, Dark Lady is going to 1v5 them after that initial
Wow, we see Dark Lady, speaking of her 1v5, she jumps in and again tears up, got through the fawn. Silhouette's going to melt away as well. She tries to tree grapple away, being nifty. It's just not going to happen, though. And I think QsQuad's on their way to a victory. In fact, there we go. The GG well plays are called. Game 2 will go to QsQuad, and as a result, the series will go to QsQuad. They are now going to be 1-0 here in Group A, where, of course, the returners, they will be 0-1. We stress this, kind of different ways to look at it. Obviously, you want to start off strong. In the end, it is just the first game, though, of a 7-game total trek here. 7-match series, I should say, total trek here in the group stages, and you need to finish top 3. So, and this is against, no doubt, one of the better teams in the group, like I keep going back to as well. QsQuad, a very, very good team. So, definitely deserving of the victory. They played really well, I must stress that. So,
I mean, statistically, you could argue they were the second best in this entire tournament, seeing how they placed, 4th in the Redemption tournament? I mean, technically, they placed I'm right behind TT Esports, and they are both actually in the same group, TT Esports and QsQ that we just casted today. So, yeah, you don't want to get your heads down. It's very early on in this tournament right now, in the group stages, and a lot of things can happen. It is the only first matchup. But, yeah, if we actually have the brackets up for, or not the brackets, I should say, but the groups between Group A and Group B, there's a lot of great teams involved, especially in Group A.
Yeah, there really is, and Nox, though, especially. This guy, every single time we watch this team in QsQ, it just impresses me more and more. I mean, he is quickly becoming one of the most entertaining players to watch here on the competitive scene, and one of the most impressive, really, I should say, as far as just being that hard carry role and just doing it so well every single game. And no doubt a big reason for our QsQ's recent success. So for me, at least, if I had to give an MVP out for this series, I think it would have to be Nox. But even as a team, they did play great as well. Like I said, they just seemed like they were really on the dime for so many moments. And they were setting up ganks appropriately. They were counter-ganking appropriately. And it just seemed to be too much for the returners. So, again, I know a lot of people interested to see, especially the returners, and what they're about here in the competitive scene, kind of making their debut here in this tournament with players like Angry Testing and whatnot. But unfortunately, not the greatest start for them in the group stages. Again, going back to, though, it is just the beginning of what is going to be a trek here over the next 6 days, I believe, in total. So, once again, this is just the first match day for all 16 teams here. They will be either 1-0 or 0-1 after today. As you can see, the matchups that did happen today. In fact, we do have another result for you guys. Thug Sauce actually defeated DOS 2-0. So that's our currently other result. Other than that, the other matches, I believe, are still being played. So definitely some updates there.
And let's go ahead and check out those groups one more time. In Group A, we got QsQ starting out very strong with 3 points and a 1-0 record. Of course, they took the series 2-0, but their record right now total is 1-0. Returners are now 0-1 with 0 points, and that's the way to start it. Let's go ahead and look at Group B, actually, and I'll let you commentate a little bit on this.
Well, Group B, again, Thug Sauce with their victory. They're on top at 1-0 with 3 points. Obviously, again, 2-0 victory gets you 3 points. A 2-1 victory gets you 1 point, I believe, or is it 2 points? It might be 2 points. It's 1 or 2 points. Either way, it's less than the 2-0 victory.
Maybe it is 1.
Maybe it is 1. I think it is 1. You get 2 points. Okay, you get 2 points, we're being told. So you get 2 points for a 2-1 victory, and then you get 0 points, of course, for losing the series. So that's kind of how the point breakdown plays out. So there you go as far as the standings and how they're looking at right now for both these groups. Again, still very early on, even especially today with only a couple of matches taking place and knowing the results from them. But it is just the beginning of what is going to be quite the fun experience here on Honcast. Especially, we got plenty of content, plenty of coverage coming for you guys over this next week and a half, really, of just awesome Heroes Near with action. So hopefully you enjoyed today, both the show that we had before with the group selection show, as well as, of course, QsQ versus the returners. But QsQ is indeed victorious. So we will be coming back tomorrow, though, guys. With that said, day number 2 here at the group stages. We don't know the exact matchup just yet, but if you do head over to DreamHaunt.com and you go to the tournament section for Destination DreamHack, you can actually check out both the standings and the groups for yourself, as well as the full schedule for all these teams. So you'll know all the matchups that are happening. and we'll get you an idea of who we're going to be casting as soon as possible via all our updates. So.
And make sure to check out our new website, honcast.com. That will have news updates as well.
Yes.
As well as, obviously, the VODs and our live cast. And also, guys, check out hontour.com if you are, yet again, in a cave for the last few days or so. Hontour has been released, and you can check out and sign up for Hontour at hontour.com, as well as follow your favorite players or favorite casters. All you have to do is type in the search bar, say Angry Testy, and type him in, and you can follow him or whatever.
Breaking CPK. Just
Tralfamador.
Maybe.
Anyway, guys, make sure to check out those websites. It's both give you a lot of information, and they're brand new, and we love them. So
they are, and we're doing our best to keep them updated as much as possible, and even for right now. But that will get better in the future. Like I keep wanting to stress, just because all these things are brand new and everything is shiny, it is a lot of fun. It's not like we're saying, oh well, we're done. We got those out. Well, let's be happy about that and live life to its fullest. Now, no, that's not the case. We're definitely going to do our part to make sure to stay active and to keep you coming every single day, because of course that is the ultimate goal and what really should be taking place here for competitive heroes and newers. So have a lot of fun with those sites, guys. Check out our Facebooks and Twitter specifically, at BreakCBK, at TrelfHon.
Yes.
And then also follow Honcast at Honcast, as well as the Facebook for Honcast for a lot of updates and information and whatnot. So things are wrapping up here. Any final words, Trelf?
Just goodwill. GG well played to both teams, specifically QsQ. I mean, they're playing really strong.
Yeah.
And they really are one of the best teams in this tournament right now.
Yeah.
Them alongside, I think, with most people would agree, TT Esports, who's also been practicing a lot. So make sure to look for them, guys, and we will again update you on who will be casting tomorrow. It's at the same time, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, and 21 Central European time. So make sure to tune in to Honcast.com for all that.
Have a good night, guys. I'm BreakCBK. Joining me is Tralfamador. Shout out to Killer Orange, our producer. Shout out to you guys for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.